Good afternoon. My name is Jay and I will be your examiner today. What is your full name? And is there a name you would like to be called? May I see your identification, please? That's fine, thank you. In the first part, I would like to ask you some general questions about yourself. Let's talk about what you do. Do you work or are you a student?
I work as an English instructor. It's been about 15 to 16 years since I started teaching English.
Have you had any difficulties while working recently?
Yes, I have been creating a new English course for beginners. So I have to make lesson materials from scratch, which is not easy at all and very time consuming. But I know that every effort I'm making now will be very worthwhile, so I have to keep up with the work.
What do you do after work?
When I finish all my work, it's around 11 p.m. or later. Most of the time, I have some beer to kind of call it a day. And I watch YouTube videos on my interests, such as the universe.
What do you do on your days off?
I usually catch up on my house chores and I take my dog to some nice places for walking. We take the subway or bus and travel around Seoul, which is sometimes tiring, but the short trips with my dog always gives me great pleasure.
I would like to talk to you about the week. What is your favorite day of the week?
Of the 7 days, I like Friday most, like other people do, because I don't work on Fridays unless I have private tutoring lessons. Also, I have a couple of study sessions with other English instructors, so I can work on my English and I feel quite satisfied and proud of myself on the day.
And what is your least favorite day of the week?
Like many other people, Monday is the day I don't look forward to. As I usually have 3 days off from work, I feel more tired on Monday morning. And it's the start of a long, long week.
What is the busiest day of the week for you?
I am overloaded with work on Thursdays. I have 6 classes to teach, all back to back until 10 p.m. I only have time for lunch and dinner. Thank God I don't have any lessons on Friday.
Is there anything you do every day?
In addition to work, I always drink coffee in the morning before the lesson begins. Without caffeine, my brain doesn't work and I'm not myself. I can't live a single day without a coffee.
Let's talk about ice cream. Do you like ice cream?
Why not? Although I actually don't like sweet taste, I love eating ice cream when I'm down because the sweetness lifts my mood up. And I feel cooler when I eat ice cream, which is really helpful for me to beat the heat in summer.
And do you eat ice cream a lot?
No, not a lot. I buy some ice cream only once or twice a year or so because most of the time I feel like I have to drink coffee, not ice cream. Though there are times I have a craving for vanilla ice cream.
Did you eat ice cream as a child?
Yeah, I think I did. Who didn't eat ice cream as a young kid? Ice cream is sweet and cool, so almost every child loves it. And I was a very typical average girl, so I probably ate quite a lot of ice cream back then.
Would you like to make your own ice cream?
I don't know. I guess I wouldn't want to make ice cream for myself because I think it might be quite troublesome. You must buy all the ingredients needed, and I don't think there is only milk and sugar. Also, it probably takes some time to make proper ice cream. I would rather go to an ice cream shop and buy one.
Thank you. Let's move on to part 2. I will give you a topic and I'd like you to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. Before you talk, you will have 1 minute to think about what you are going to say. You may take some notes if you wish. Do you understand?
Okay, yes.
Here is your paper and pen. And I will start timing now. All right, please drop your pen now. Remember, you have 1 to 2 minutes for this, so don't worry if I stop you. I will tell you when the time is up. Can you start speaking now, please?
I have made many significant choices in my life, but I would like to tell you the most recent one today. Currently, I live in the capital city of South Korea, but I used to live in a city named Gwangju, which is located in the southern part of the country. It takes about 3.5 hours to get to the city from Seoul. Actually, I had spent almost my whole life in Gwangju before I moved to Seoul 2 years ago. At the time, my mom, who used to live in Australia, decided to come to Korea and settle down because she was sick of the longest lockdown period in the world, almost 8 months in Melbourne. I thought I had to live near her, and she wanted to live in Yongin as her sister, younger sister, or the youngest aunt to me, lives there. It was not easy decision for me to leave Gwangju because I hadn't imagined the life in Seoul. But in the end, I made up my mind to start a new life in the biggest city in my country. Of course, I struggled a lot to settle down here at first, but now everything is going really well, and I have met some really nice neighbors. I think I have a better life here, and I thank my mom for giving me a chance to make such a life turning point. By the way, just for information, my mom now lives in Suncheon, which is near Gwangju City.
Thank you. May I take the card, paper, and pen back? Thank you. We've been talking about an important decision that you made. I would like to discuss with you 1 or 2 more general questions related to this topic. First, let's talk about children and decision making. Do you think children sometimes have to make an important decision by themselves?
Even if children mostly do what their parents decide for them, sometimes it is they that make decisions that affect their life, from very minor things like what to wear to major ones like who to be friends with. And the latter one is very important because friends can be either a good or a bad influence. Almost all things that children do are monitored and controlled by mothers and fathers, but they make friends when their parents are not with them. For example, at a kindergarten or school, or while playing by themselves in the playground, which means they decide who to be friends with by themselves.
What important decisions do teenagers need to make after graduation?
Of course, school leavers must decide whether they will further their education or not. And if they do, then they will also have to make up their mind what academic path they will take, considering their future career path. Such choices affect their future significantly. Also, some of them will probably be thinking about taking a gap year. That 1 year can be either a waste of time or a great experience, depending on what type of person they are and how they spend it. So teenagers should take many things into account before taking a gap year.
Who can children turn to for help when making a decision?
In my opinion, the person that boys and girls go to for advice depends on what kind of decisions they have to make. For example, if they have a friendship problem and choose to do something about it, then I believe their friends or others in their peer group would be the best, because they may have the same problem, so the listener or advisor can understand the situation better than adults. However, on the other hand, decisions on academic fields like what subjects to take for a certain career or which university is a better option for them should be made after consulting their teachers. In terms of life advice, probably parents are ideal person to turn to, but I'm not sure children nowadays would do that.
I would like you to talk about advertisements and purchase decisions. Do you think advertisements can influence our decisions when shopping?
Needless to say, yes, and that's why there are advertising companies and marketers. Actually, commercials have a power to manipulate the audience as they are made that way. The images, music, and words are sophisticatedly choreographed, targeting those watching them psychologically. Consequently, we subconsciously feel like buying a certain product, even if it is unnecessary at the time, or choosing that one in a store.
Do you think the influence of advertising is good?
Probably not. Moderation is always good, but to my way of thinking, advertisements and even hypes are everywhere nowadays. They're quite annoying as they interrupt our free time. For example, TV shows or streaming videos are stopped in the middle for commercials. Also, I believe advertising promotes consumerism and materialism, lookism in an unhealthy way.
Thank you. That's the end of the speaking test.